Can we use your home to showcase one of our new roofing styles or colors? We need showcase homes of all shapes and sizes right away. Click the link below this video now to submit your home. Our next gen.
Turn this down. Jeez. What's going on, guys? Hope things look a little better to everybody this time versus the first one that looked, to be blunt, like hell. What's going on? So, what we're working on today is finally, after almost 5 months later, Horizon Hobby has finally sent me the new diff for the rear of the EXB. When I got this thing, I had it out for maybe I think 2 bashes, and the rear diff, of course, exploded in them like all of them. But they sent me a new diff, so today I'm just kind of working on going to put the new differential in here. It's an open diff they sent me, and going to get this in there. And I'm also working on the granite. I bent the hell out of the motor plate on that thing, so we're going to take that out and beat that thing straight again and just mess around a little bit here in the shop. It's a nice, cold, snowy day. We still got like, I don't know, probably 8-10 inches of snow outside, so not a lot of other stuff to do out there at the moment. No, Isaac, no more fires. So far, the ammo cans have been doing well for all that stuff. Honestly, I am amazed on these Venom Chargers, just how well this thing, I thought for sure that thing was going to be toast after that fire, because it burnt all the leads off the front of it, and I thought it was going to be junk. The front of it got slightly melted, but she still works great, so no problems with that. But, well, I guess we're going to start tearing apart the rear of the EXB here and see how this thing goes. I guess I better plug in the computer before it decides to die. Would end it a little bit short. So does everything look and sound okay to you guys out there? Finally got a different camera for this, and tried changing the lighting here. I still got a little bit of brightness going on over here. I'm still working on that. I'm waiting for another light to come, but so far it's definitely seemed like it's better. Yeah, famous last words, I know. It'll probably catch on fire to me in the morning. Let's hope not, though. Hopefully this time I'm not down here having to put out the fire naked after, because, I don't know, those of you who don't know, the fire took place and I was in the shower and I heard my smoke alarms going off, and I had to come down here and put out a 6 or 8 LiPo batteries total that went up in flames, and had to put them out down here in my birthday suit. Not a pretty scene. Everyone out there ready and excited for Christmas? I actually got all my Christmas shopping done. And other than a couple last minute things to kind of wrap up and get together, I think I'm ready to go. Always forget about the body mounts. The screw will not come the whole way out unless you pull that out first. Well, as far as the EXB diffs, I mean, the front one's been fine. The center one's been good. Hopefully the new rear one holds up a little better. I've had the locking spool in the back, so I've had a locked rear diff in this thing ever since I got it. Pretty much, like I said, I got a couple bashes out of it, and she died. And now they got me this one, so we're gonna mess around with the EXB again and see how I like it with this again. I've gotten kind of used to the open diff in this thing, but I know it'll handle better with either open or just open diff or the limited slip. But yeah, because this one says it's an active front rear diff set. GP4 is what it comes up. So hopefully this one holds up better than the first one did. Just getting a wing removed off of it. I've changed the diff out before with leaving the wing on, but it definitely makes life a little bit easier if you just remove it. Yeah, guess it'd help if I take out the other screw. Thanks, Andrew. I'm glad the lighting looks a little better. I know I still got a little bit of brightness going on up here, but working on it. I got the first light and the camera, so definitely a little bit of an improvement. But yeah, hopefully RBL, it's hopefully, yeah, it does hold up. I know that these diffs have been a sore spot with many people, including myself. Hopefully this one decides to hold up a little longer and better, but I guess we'll see. I've talked with a few people that got them already, you know, have changed them out, and you know, they said they've been having, you know, a half dozen bashes on them, and they've been good. So hopefully they continue to hold up. I don't even know how many times I've had this rear case off of this differential, especially when I first got it, because I kept trying to modify the diff I had and make it work and try to reshim it. You know, this was before even the plates were available, and I kept trying to mess around with it and get it to work, and didn't have much luck. Oh, you got your Typhoon? Man, I love the Typhoon. That car is always a good time. We had it up on the last live stream we did. Not really going to talk about that one too much. Was not real happy with the quality of that whole video turned out, but I was just kind of testing out. But yeah, Typhoon's an awesome car. Finally got mine all fixed back up again. Other than it needs a new body, because this one has seen better days. I got another one ordered, but it said it'd be about a week and a half or so before it got here. But that's the original body from the car when I got it. Held up pretty long, but the cold weather does not play very well with the plastic bodies. But you'll definitely like it. I have a set of what are those? I forget what shocks they are. They're on Amazon. And eBay and stuff. They were the ZP or ZD Racing, I think is what they were. A set of shocks I got coming. They're 3S shocks. They're a tiny bit longer than like your stock ones for most of the Armor 3S line, but I know a lot of people have put them on the 3S and 4S cars. They said they really like the shocks. So I got a set of those coming. I think I'm going to try them either on the Granite or the Big Rock and see how I like them. Never used a set of them, so we'll see how they work out. Disconnecting the sway bar. Yeah, with Typhoon, the 3S line, all here is cars are a great size. Like the 3S, the 6S, the 8S, the Monster Creighton down there. It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely getting used to it. And I've been talking with a lot of people about that thing also. I'm thinking it might be one of the first cars I really tried doing some sort of a heavy duty, not really heavy duty, but a lot more upgraded power system in it. Because it seems like with these fifth scale cars, you definitely need that extra power and speed to get that thing corrected, especially in the air. So you don't have bad landings and braking stuff all the time. So I might be looking into a different ESC and motor for that thing shortly here. Yeah, that's the same thing I always did with my shocks on the Typhoon or all the 3S cars. They always include that extra thicker spacer. I've always put that in there, and usually just that bit of spacer for, normal jumping has worked out pretty well. But you get those giant launches, they're always going to bottom out a little bit. Drop and drive shafts. Basically, these ones have stayed straight in this car, which honestly surprises me because I've launched this car pretty good. Between this and the regular V4 Creighton up there, the blue one, during the early part of the summer when I had a really nice jump down there at the track, I was trying to see how far I could send these things. I think the longest one was 130, 31 or 32 feet or something like that for the total distance on that car. Thinking about trying to get one of those GPSs that, besides they do your speed, they do the height. I mean, I don't know. They probably got to be relatively accurate. Thinking about trying one of those and seeing some of the height get on some of these jumps. That one jump down at the motocross track, it's always hard to see on film, but I mean, the mound is already probably a good 15 feet off the ground. And I mean, the car just sails above that. So I'm kind of curious to see what the height actually is off of that thing. Well, the rear runs are still straight, amazingly. Yeah, I had the Sentin. I still have a Sentin, but it's kind of seen its better days. Unfortunately, it's kind of turned into a sort of a parts car for some of the other 3S cars. I love the Sentin. It was a great car, but the only issues I started having with it is the bigger that you start jumping that thing and trying to send it, the more you're constantly getting that parachuting effect where, you get it in the air and all that air gets onto the body with a lot of pretty much all of the short course trucks, and you start getting that parachuting effect and the thing just kind of coasts around in the air and causes a lot of times for some bad landings. And that diff case did not want to come off of there. Trying to keep an eye on the chat. All right, well, we got the old one out of there. Gears and everything on it still look really good. See that? If it focuses. But yeah, the old one, it's got a locking spool in there, and other than it, not handling as well, and it tends to spin out a lot in corners. I mean, you just had to be a little more throttle control with it, to be able to keep the back end, from not swinging around on you. But besides that, honestly liked it and it held up well. So I'm going to keep this around, obviously. So if this one decides to explode on me again, I got something else to throw back in here. But I do need to change out those diff cuffs, man. Those things are looking really nasty. They're pretty beat up. They got a really big keyway cut in the sides of them. But we're going to keep that one aside. Hopefully, I don't need it, but we all know how that goes. Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Andrew Johnson, for the donation there of the sticker. That's awesome, man. I really, really appreciate that, bud, a lot. You're the first one, so thank you. Greatly appreciate that, man. What's up, Skyworks? So with the kit, they actually give you along with that 4 shims, which will always be handy with pretty much all the ARMA, the differentials in any of them. It seems like any of them. I mean, pretty much every single ARMA I have gotten, not even that, just every RC car for that matter. The first thing you want to do when you get them is checking the fluid inside of these and making sure that the differentials are shimmed properly, because a couple minutes now can save you a lot of headaches later. Get rid of that play back there. You'll save your spur gears and everything else. This one feels really nice. I was talking to somebody on one of the Facebook pages yesterday, and don't remember who it was now. I'm sorry. Terrible with names sometimes. But he said he had just gotten his from Horizon yesterday also, and his was super tight. But this one feels really nice. It does feel like there's fluid in there, but I'm going to open it up and make sure it does and how much. Yeah, the Creighton could be kind of a cool car in a 3S line. The Creighton 4S, this one down here is still covered with mud. This car was, I have a blast with that thing every time I take it out. Now, when I first got that car, it was just a thorn in my side because I was constantly having issues with the rear differential coming apart. I was constantly stripping the gears, even with it shimmed, and between that and slipper clutch issues. But after I had ordered and installed the hot racing aluminum differential yokes and rebuilt the slipper clutch and Loctited the hell out of it, it has been solid now. Shimmed the rear end and put those aluminum differential yokes made the world of difference on that rear end. I left it still plastic gears, but all it needed was those differential yokes from keeping that whole differential from twisting, and it made the big difference on that car. And I mean, I've had that thing out numerous times now and just beat the snot out of it down at the track, and the thing just is holding up like a tank. Been really happy with that car. And with the power to weight ratio of it, the thing is a ton of fun. You got the all plastic chassis with the 4S power plant, and that thing, it can zip. That car can get up and move, that's for sure. But I bet a 3S version would probably be a lot of fun too. Wrong bit. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Tortured? How's it going? What's up, Captain Flannel? How many flannels do you own? Any of you that just tuned in, we are tearing into replacing the differential rear diff on the EXB. Horizon sent me a new one, and we are changing it out, and I misspoke because what they have sent me is a limited slip. Hopefully this is the new updated and graded version of it, because I'll be curious to find out. But yes, it does have, if I can get it to focus, the limited slip plates in there. So this is the limited slip differential still. And as you can see, maybe not see, but see if I can get that too. There is not much grease in there at all. So we are going to fill that up. And that's the way every single one of them comes. They're just not quite filled up. The Typhoon can fly great. The car is awesome in the air. The Typhoon is so controllable. It's very predictable in the air. Like, that thing gets slightly out of whack, and it's very easy to correct in the air. Always had a lot of fun with that thing. You have 50 plus flannels. Hey. Don't be picking on my Dodge now. I've had just about every I had just about every brand out there as far as the normal stuff. I was mainly a Chevy guy growing up. Had tons of them, a lot of different ones. And honestly, I was always very anti-Dodge. I was the same way. I was like, hated Dodge. But with my work, I travel a lot with work, and we get a lot of different rental cars on a regular basis. And I started getting a lot of these Dodges for rental cars. And honestly, I started falling in love with them at that point. Really liked they were just comfortable, the way they handled. So I became a Dodge guy. And so far I've had it for 3 years old, 3.5 years old, somewhere around there. But the thing's been great to me. I've had no problems with that truck yet at all. It's passed the last 3 inspections without having to put a dime into it. So far, so good. I like the looks of the Raptors. They're definitely a cool looking truck. What's up, guys? All right, well, kind of just let it settle in there for a minute. Looks a lot better there. So we're going to go with that. I had a feeling this was going to be not filled the whole way. Kawasaki or Honda? Well, it depends on if you're talking street bike or dirt bike. Dirt bike, Honda. Street bike, Kawasaki. That's what I have, a Kawasaki Vulcan S650 I have over there. And I'll tell you what, it's a light bike, and the thing really gets up and moves. But back in the younger days, I raced motocross for quite a while. I was always on Yamaha, and I had a couple Hondas, though, and I really liked the dirt bikes, but I always just tended to stay on Yamaha. Well, I appreciate you joining us for your lunch break. I'm actually off now until January 5th, so I don't have to leave town again. So got a little bit of time off to actually hopefully get out, take a couple of cars out for a run. Wanted to head down to the motocross track or the BMX track, but there's just a foot of snow almost out there, so it's not going to be very, not going to get too far on the tracks with that much snow. But the minute that it melts, so there's enough out there, we're definitely going to go back out. So now the differential doesn't want to turn. Not sure what's up with it. Every time with these things. Suddenly feels like deja vu from 5 months ago. Well, it feels good there. Can't really see what's going on here. Try to line these. All lined up there. That could be it too. The differential plates, it's kind of weird, or the limited slip plates, because they kind of sit whenever you're turning them. See if I can get this to do this. As you can see, they turn right in front of the holes. So I know that's what's happening. They're hitting on there. I'll look behind this gear and see what I got. Now, do you think that they have to... Probably should have read this before I got into it, I guess. You think that they have to set your plates and everything in there first? All right, well, we'll give that a try. Is the EXB worth getting? I mean, I like the car. You know, the few upgraded parts on there, but honestly, you know, the V4 up there, between the two of them, just for plain runtime too. But I mean, I know a lot of this has to do with this differential problem. But you know, I've had way more fun, and I haven't broken. I mean, on the V4 Creighton, I changed out the rear chassis brace, I believe, and the shock mounts, the shock tower from the what do they call it? The M2C Racing shock standoffs, and that's the only things I've really done to that car, and I have had zero issues with it. Honestly, I've beat that thing up more than I have the EXB, and you know, I haven't had any issues. So I don't know. You know, I guess if I was going to rebuy them, I would honestly probably just buy the regular V4 or the V5 crate now, and you know, upgrade things slowly as they break on it. I guess really the big thing that the EXB had over it was the chassis, because the chassis on his EXBs are pretty tough. The one on the V4, I did bend that one, and I upgraded it with the EXB chassis. So that I did do. Kind of forgot about that. But other than the chassis, you know, there's not a lot else you need to do, because I bent the back of it on there for a while. Yeah, the X Max. I've been really contemplating the X Max. Still thinking about possibly getting one. Well, so far so good. That worked with putting the gear and the plates in there first. Get a couple screws in it and test it again. Maybe. Something's not lined up. Yeah, I mean, that too. There is a lot more money with EXB, between having to buy all the electronics and stuff like that. Like I said, if I was going to, knowing what I know now, I would just go buy the regular RTR version and, again, replace stuff and upgrade it as it breaks. You bend the chassis, pick up the chassis for the EXB. If you bust the center braces, get those from the EXB, and just kind of go from there. So it felt good until putting the screws in it. Again, not sure what's going on here. Trying to get these plates to sit down in there far enough seems to be the problem. Because if they're not seated the whole way down, then they catch on the screws. Yeah, the chassis sticker, it's a 7075 aluminum. It's definitely just a lot better chassis overall. Well, I like the EXB, don't get me wrong. It's been a really fun car. Just the differentials were just being real problems for many people when they first started. And as you can see, still for me right now. There we go. So yeah, you got to make sure those diff plates are seated down the whole way so that they're completely flush with the top of the diff case. Because if they're not, it continues to catch on the screws. Thank you for that helpful piece of information. Yeah, a couple times, with the X Max, I've gone down to the local hobby shop, and twice I went down there with actually the intentions of getting one. And I think the first time I went down there to get one is whenever the EXB was released. I was going to get one then, and I decided to get the EXB. And I think the other time I was going down there to look at it, and I ended up getting the Outcast or something. Can't remember which car was what now, but I am thinking about trying one. What armor car do I like the most? Well, kind of hard to decide. Each one kind of has their goods and their plus, their bads and their goods and their bads. But I guess if I could pick only one off the shelf right now to take, to the track or the BMX track, I would probably pick the Creighton 6S. If I was going to a skate park or something like that, where you're going to be having a lot more ugly landings. Probably, the Typhoon or the Big Rock, just because, you got the plastic chassis and tend to have a little less issues with twisting chassis with there. But, whenever I take the Creighton 6S down to motocross track, it's always a lot of fun down there. That thing is a blast. That and the EXB. I mean, they're both the same car, of course. But I was having a little more fun with the V4 Creighton just because it still had the open style diff in the back and it handled a lot better. It didn't have a lot less of the sliding out and all that stuff. The Typhoon 6S, yes. My local hobby shop actually just called me when I was in Atlanta for almost a week for work. But they actually called me again to let me know that they just got 2 of the Typhoon 6S's in. So I think that probably going to be the next car you see here on the channel is going to be a Typhoon 6S, because I wanted to get one for quite a while, and they were out of stock everywhere. He was ordering them in there, trying to get them in, but they were out of stock all summer long. Even before Corona, I couldn't get a hold of one, at least locally. And he just let me know that they did come in. So I think there's going to be a Typhoon 6S in the future here. What's going on? Build a break and fix it. I want to see some video of that thing. The FPV. Now, are you putting this on your Creighton V4 or your Creighton 4S? I'm putting one shim in this thing at the moment and going to see what it feels like, because that's what I usually had in this all the time, was the one shim in the rear diff on this car. And it usually took up the slack perfectly. Yeah, there is zero play in that thing now. You cannot feel anything from side to side. It's nice and tight. And I had already set the mesh on the input gear coming into it. I had put one shim behind the bearing on that to push the input closer to it, so it fit up nice and snug. On the 6S Typhoon? Oh, on the Mega. Yeah, I never had. The only thing, the Sentin I had, which is basically the same platform, the Sentin was originally a Mega when I bought it. And I upgraded that with a 3S brushless system in it. And the only thing I ever did to that was I had put the steel spur gear on it, because I was stripping that out with the brushless system on it. But I put the steel spur gear on it, never had any issues. I had done, never had any other problems with any other drive shafts or nothing really. Occasionally broke the occasional drive shaft, of course, but never had any issues or had to upgrade anything else on the car, after putting the brushless system in it. So I would say, yeah, you shouldn't have to do too much, but I would just put the steel spur gear on it so that you don't have to deal with it in the future. Reading some of the comments over here. But no, there's no other modifications or anything else needed. I would just do the steel spur gear, just save yourself some headaches. Yeah, I saw that Kevin Talbot's car caught fire there. Don't know what happened with that Mamba, his ESC. I've heard a lot about those ESCs catching fire. I don't know if any of you guys had any issues with those or had one happen, but seen quite a few people having that issue with them. Overloading it with the high voltage. Could be. I find it funny too, though, that the car was on fire outside, and the first thing he did was make sure he went and got the video camera. I laugh about that because whenever my lipo fire happened down here, after I initially got the table out and the table wasn't on fire anymore, and I opened the garage door up, first thing I did was went and grabbed my phone and tried to record some of the last bits of smoldering mess I had on the ground. All right, well, we got the diff back in there. Yeah, that's no fun. You deal with fires, but unfortunately, when things like that happen, you want to try to catch them on film because they don't happen very much and kind of show people what can happen. That lipo fire I had down here scared the hell out of me. When I opened up the bathroom door up on the 3rd story and smoke come rolling in my door, there was definitely a moment of panic, that's for no doubt. What's up, Robert from Georgia? I just left Georgia yesterday. I was down in Atlanta for almost a week. Yeah, I want to put some other system in the Kraton 8S. I've been thinking about what I want to put in there exactly, what kind of system. Everybody, I was kind of thinking about going with one of the, not the Max 6, but the other one for the 8S. Brain fart right now. But, trying that. But I've seen people, have issues with both of them. It doesn't matter. All cars, and everybody says, oh, there's always the Traxxas armor battles and all that stuff. And all the cars have their certain weak spots, the things that, are normal breakage items, and then certain things are just plain built poorly. But whatever you have the most fun with. Did it catch fire while it was in the air? Yeah, that's it. When it was charging, I started the charger down, and I came back from running a bunch of the cars. I threw a couple of them on the charger. Their chargers for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. I went upstairs to hop in the shower real quick, and within 10 minutes, 15 minutes of me leaving here, one of them, don't know which one it was, couldn't really tell anymore because it was just a pile of molten battery and plastic and wood and everything else that caught fire down there. But one of them shorted out during charging, and unfortunately I had other ones beside those that were charging. I had a pile of them here. 2 of them were on the charger, and I think 4 or 5 other ones beside them, which was stupid. That's why I have ammo cans now to hold them while they're charging or while they're waiting to be charged. But yeah, the first one went up, caught the one that was beside it, and then it just went from there. Just a chain reaction. And they burn hot and they burn fast. I'm running the 23 tooth on the Kraton 8S now, the other one that comes with it. Made a world of difference on that car. Turning the punch up to 5 and putting that 23 tooth pinion on it that comes with the car just made a huge difference. You're able to control it a lot easier in the air and able to actually get it to backflip. And, I don't even know why they don't just come with that stock, because honestly, the car needs it. Because without it, you don't have enough of that wheel speed to really properly control the thing. Because I was crashing the thing a lot more before I put that on there. Definitely a lot happy with it, with the opinion. Yeah, the front and rear diff on the Creighton, the 8S, is still a stock in there at the moment. The center has that, whatever it is, 20 million or something. You know, it's almost like an earplug, but not quite. Because I was going to earplug it, but I opened the thing up and saw what was in there already and just figured, yeah, I kind of left it alone. Grabbing a 2.5. What's up, Dan? So once I get this back together, I'm going to pull the granite out for a moment and rip the motor out of that thing and beat the motor plate straight. That, or I might have another motor plate for a 3S that I might just throw on it. But the one that's in there at the moment is really badly bent from the little ramp session I had out in the back lot here the other day. Ended up bending it pretty bad. I put it above the screws and now I can't get it back in there. Appreciate y'all dropping in to watch today. I really do. Thank you, everybody. Does anybody else about running in the snow very much? Does anybody else have snow where you're at? Like I said, we got like 8 or 10 inches outside at the moment. Today was really the first day that the roads were fully clear. What show doesn't exist? I think I may have missed something on that. Well, the new diff in there feels really nice. It's nice and smooth. Feels good. So this is definitely going to be the first car I take out here as soon as I head back down to the track. Curious to test this thing back out and see how the diff. I've never even had the limited, like I said, I think I ran it maybe 2 bashes with the one that came with the thing. And I liked the car, ran nice, handled good, just didn't last very long. This is Simon. Yeah, this is the EXB. Horizon Hobby finally decided to just catch up. Horizon Hobby finally decided to send me a new limited slip differential for the rear, because the one that came with this car when I got it about 5 months ago, I got 2 bashes out of it. Of course, the diff exploded like all the other ones. And this is supposedly the newer, better, bigger, better version of this thing, supposedly. So getting this thing back in EXB, so we go back to the limited slip now. Hopefully this one holds up more than 2 bashes. Take it easy, Andrew. Appreciate it, man. Robert, I was just talking to somebody, Don. I said I was down in Atlanta for a few days, and I was talking to somebody down there. And I told them how much snow we had back up here at home, and they're like, they said, if we got that down here, the whole place would come to a complete halt. And I can believe that. guys aren't really used to or set up for the snow. We get more ice than the snow. Yeah, the ice isn't no fun. I have a friend that lived out in Kansas, just recently moved to Florida, actually. But I talked about constantly. Every time they were saying about we were getting snow here, that it was snow for a moment, and then it would just turn to freezing ice, freezing rain and stuff. I like the snow. As soon as it snows, I'm usually out like doing donuts in our mall parking lot. All right. Almost all back together. What's up, RCU Army? Glad you could join us. Yeah, well, the snow has already claimed, well, one of my receivers for sure already. When I had the Outcast and what else did I take down there? Oh, the Creighton. Or no, maybe it was EXB. I don't remember which one I had down there with me now. It was the Outcast and one of the Creightons. And got down there, got pretty much a whole battery out of the Outcast, and then the water got in these crappy receiver boxes with the piece of foam in there, which is kind of a joke. And the water got down in there, killed the receiver on it. But fixed that problem with some silicone. Couldn't remember where I put the wheels for a second. Yeah, I tell you what, if OtterBox made them, they'd be a little more waterproof. Now, is anybody with I noticed like on my the slash I had, the way the receiver box was with that, the wires came in the top and they had that little rubber seal that kind of squished between the cables, and sealed it off pretty good. And I never had any issues with water damage on any of those receivers. They need to come up with something similar to that, because that foam does not cut it. And it's frustrating when you're trying to change out, your servo and stuff, or having to pull those wires out of there. All of that foam constantly, when you actually try to stick the wires back down there, the foam constantly falls and pushes itself back out. Just not really a great design. What do you got going on here? Yeah, that's exactly it, right, Vlogs. That rubber seal on there works out a lot better. Yeah, that could be it too. I never had any of the FSGT3 receivers. I never had any of those go bad. And even a couple times I did see, water. Look, you can see that dried up water in the bottom of the receiver boxes. So maybe those GT5 receivers just aren't, quite as hardy when it comes to moisture. I'm thinking about maybe trying a different transmitter and receiver combo for the cars here at some point. The GT5, I like it, But I'm not sure if I'm loving the receivers just yet. But I don't know. Run them the rest of this winter, and maybe come summer I might change out and go to a different transmitter setup. Just checking all the main screws on the bottom. Well, the EXB has got its limited slip differential back in there again. Got the back end shimmed, nice and tight. Hopefully, she holds together that time. I think the bottom of this thing, there's not too much of that blue left on it, especially the back. And that's all just from normal use. All right, well, I think, you know what, I'm going to power this thing up and spin the wheels for a second. Make sure everything sounds okay on that diff. Keep the old one around. I think I actually had to put the GT3B receiver in this car now. Yeah, I do. I got the EXB on this because I had a receiver for it. After the GT5 one died, this one will do. I just noticed the steering is reversed on this thing. There we go. Sounds good. Spinning nice. We'll go with that. Kind of excited to try this thing out with the limited slip in it again. It's been a little while. Well, next we're going to... Question for anybody out there that might have one of these Low-C Mini T's, the 2.0. This is the brushless version. Are you able to get just the wing anywhere for these cars? Because it doesn't last very long, and I'm not really that concerned about it, but I've never really seen or been able to find any. All right, we're going to put the EXB away now. Pull the granite out and get the motor mount straightened out on that thing. Catch up on here, recover. Yeah, that's the original chassis on the EXB. I'm assuming that's what you're asking about. Yeah, I don't know why they use that crappy foam on the 6S. I don't like it, though. That's all I know. Because it basically makes you got silicone the thing now. And then whenever you got to work on it, you got to rip all the silicone loose. Well, they sent me at least some fancy EXB stickers. All right, so we got the granite. I got to reheat shrink these wires here too. As you can see, the blue lead has melted. Not sure what happened with that. It must have just got really dang hot during the summertime. But the motor mount, I don't know if you can really tell on camera there, but you can kind of see it looks slightly twisted. The motor mount plate got bent. Thinking about trying to take the crawler out, play around in the snow a little bit. I don't think I've really had that thing out in the snow yet. I had it in lots of water. Had it swimming in creeks, however you want to say it. The Big Rock, an awesome truck. This thing is an absolute blast. It's basically a granite, but they just put a granite on steroids. It's longer. It's got the long wheelbase. It's got a wider wheelbase, and this thing just handles. And it's a great truck. The thing is unbelievably tough. I mean, I launched this thing down at the skate park a good at least 30 feet plus in the air, coming right down on a hard surface. This thing is just a beast. You know, I thought that the A-arms on it would probably break on it relatively fast, but amazingly, they've been holding up great. So, and I haven't done a single thing to this truck yet, other than just putting the extra thicker spacer in the shocks. Besides that, the thing is completely stock and an awesome truck. Definitely highly recommend the Big Rock. It's a blast. I love the granite. This thing was fun and really tough. I couldn't believe, you know, how tough the thing was. And then I got that thing. And the granite's fun. It's a great truck. But the Big Rock I just kind of like a little bit better now because it's got the longer wheelbase and it handles really nice. Yeah, I know. The chassis looks like an M2C one because it's completely worn out. Maybe Santa will be nice to you. That would not be a bad Christmas present at all. Man, that drive shaft is... I think you need to get a new drive shaft for this thing. It's not. It looks like it's seen better days. This whole thing is pretty beat. You can see in there where it's had a couple rocks stuck in it, especially right on this part. It has worn down pretty good. I think I have another one of these. I'm not sure if it might be for the Typhoon though. I'll have to check it. If it's the right one, maybe I'll slap a new drive shaft in it. Or just run it till it dies. Amazing, those plastic. When I first got some of these, you know, I really thought that the drive shaft was going to be a weak spot and those things would split. Yeah, I figured right at the ends were going to split open real easy, but I have yet... Not that I can recall, I've yet to ever break one of their center drive shafts. Have had no problems with them. Nice, you got the camera working on the FPV, huh? GoPro 9 will be nice. You get the motor out of here. Oh, and then they're getting real fun to get out of here once those little slides that the motor rides in get all gummed up and dirty. It does not slide very easily anymore. Yeah, she's a little bent. You can see the gap. Sorry, looking at this backwards. You can see the gap in the motor and the plate right there. She got a little bit of twist to it. But besides that, granted, everything's good on the truck. The only thing, of course, the typical old 3S Armor line is all the shocks are leaking like crazy. And I think when those new, I believe they were the ZD Racing shocks, they should be here in the next day or two. I think I'm going to give them a try on this thing first and get rid of these leaking ones and try them out on the granite because these shocks on this thing are shot. They're just so bouncy. All the oil's gone again. And you fill them up and one run later, they've leaked it all out again. Well, get the motor out of here. Bearing. I guess it's still pretty good. Bearings might need to be changed in this thing pretty soon now. I think these might be, they're still the stock bearings, so either I've never replaced them or I had to change them out with a stock, but usually I always put the sealed bearings back and everything. I might see if I got some for this thing because these ones feel pretty rough, really. The lovely thread locker dust. Motor itself looks good. Still feels nice. All the bearings feel nice and tight in it still. No play at all. At least it feels pretty good. Well, we'll get the plate off of here now. What's going on, Naves? How's the weather over in France? Yeah, that's got a nice little twist to it. She bent pretty good. So I'm going to take a look real quick and see if I have another one that's already straight. If not, I'm going to have to beat this one straight with a hammer, I guess. This was the older version, of course, that has all the separate holes for which pin you wanted. With all the new line, they give you an open one so you can adjust it yourself. But then I hear a lot of people complaining, but now the screws won't stay tight and having to loosen up. But can't please everybody. It is hammer time. I'm going to look real quick. I might have another one with all the goodies. Stickers, stickers, and more stickers. I'm not seeing one. I thought I did have one. Well, wait a minute. Oh, nice. Well, I actually have a hot racing one. So I guess I'll put this one on there now. This one has the fully adjustable plate too, so if I ever decide to change something out, we'll do it that way. And now I don't have to swap it over. It's already got the bracket and everything. Well, since that was made easy for me, I guess I will look and see if I have. Might see if I can bend this straight anyway, if I can find my hammer. Don't remember where I put it. In the drawer. A lot better. Not perfect, but a lot better. Sorry if that's really loud on there. I don't know how loud that might be on your guys' ears right now. That rack that I have all the cars on, I got that from, I think, Home Depot, back in their shelving section. Really nice heavy-duty shelves. There's another shelf that comes with it, but it made it too high, and I couldn't even really utilize it. But it comes with an extra set of the post and a whole nother level to this thing. So if you got the height, it's a great rack. It's nice and sturdy. It's deep enough to hold at least up to a 6S car. The only thing I couldn't fit on there was the Creighton 8S, which has to sit on the floor, unfortunately. That's pretty straight. Throw it in with my box of goodies for the next time I bend one. Yeah, that shelf wasn't too bad either. I think it was somewhere around like $25 or $30, I want to say. Who's breaking a lot of things? And I think I want to see if I can find some bearings for this too. Those bearings do not look too hot. I just don't know if I have a set of those. Isn't looking too good. Nope, those are motor bearings. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to order some more of those bearings for these. I must have used the last set, I guess. Unless I have some hanging up on the wall over here, my parts wall. Sorry, over here checking some stuff out. I have another wall over here with parts. And I did have some bearings hanging on it. But I don't. So these ones don't feel terrible, but they do need changed out pretty soon. They spin nice and free at least. Thanks, me, him, URC. Been slowly building up a little bit of a collection. Now I gotta figure out which holes I can use with this plate. Weird, I'm not having should have been those two holes, but this plate isn't long enough, it seems like. There we go, I gotta use those two. I can get the screw to go. There we go. Everyone got some fun planned for New Year's? I actually get to be home this year for New Year's, so I'm excited about that part. So many times I'm usually having to work on New Year's. This year I actually get to be home, so that's exciting. Alcohol abuse. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of that going on. What's your favorite drink there, Dan? What's the worst RC car I've owned? Well, it depends on which way, but you know, it's probably going to be unpopular by some people. Probably will not agree with me, especially if you're a fan of one of them. But the Rustler 4x4. That car, the day I bought it, literally since the moment I bought it and pulled it out of the box and ran it for the first time, the car was nothing but a giant pain in the ass. Had nothing. I mean, I pulled it out of the box, charged the battery up. You threw a battery in it, took it out for its first run. And I didn't probably drive it more than 15 feet before one of the drive shafts broke. Then the shocks blew apart. It was just, I had bad luck with it. You know, I know people out there have great cars, and I'm not bashing anybody's cars by any means. I just had terrible luck with the Rustler. I mean, between overheating problems, breaking drive shafts, bending center drive shafts, shocks exploding, it was just constant issues for me. And the biggest frustrating thing was, you know, I put the MIP drive shafts on it, which finally cured the drive shafts breaking. Vodka and Coke. You know, I got the MIP drive shafts on it and cured the drive shaft problems. But if it was any kind of a hot day at all, the thing constantly overheated. I could run it for maybe 5-10 minutes, lucky, before the thing would go into thermal shutdown. And trying to keep it cool. It was just a constant, nonstop battle with that car. So that was frustrating. And the ESC caught fire on it. It just, me and the car apparently didn't get along. That's all I can say. They're a nice car. I mean, you know, they handled good. They were quick, but they just, far too many weird issues for me. I'm going to get this tension just a little bit off of the screw. There we go. So I see a weird question, I know. I'm struggling with a reasonable way to heat my garage. There's 2 electric heaters down here in my basement garage. I keep the thermostat set at like 48, somewhere right around there during the wintertime. But it gets naturally just warm from radiant heat, I guess, from upstairs. Because I mean, down here right now, it probably feels around, I don't know, probably in the high 60s, maybe mid 60s. It's nice and warm down here. But that's all I use. I keep them on low, and really, I don't hardly notice any major change to my electric bill with, using them. I keep it turned down real low. So, but I know if it was outside, if it was a detached garage, it would probably require a little bit more heat. But if you just use it while you're out there, it shouldn't be too bad. Because besides that, with electric, you could get some sort of portable electric heaters, but they don't tend to warm up the room very well unless it's very well insulated. What's up, sausage wallets? So apparently this screw isn't going to work. I don't know why. It should. But it doesn't seem long enough. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, those small portable electric, the heaters are pretty nice too. If you keep them directed kind of towards you, they'll keep you nice and warm. See if I can find a slightly longer screw that I need. This jar gets be too many in there, and then it's a pain trying to find the screw in the jar. Doesn't look like there's anything longer in there at the moment. This one might be long enough. Give this a try. All right. That feels pretty good. Nice and straight. So probably gonna be the last thing we're gonna work on here today. Big thing was kind of wanted to give the new cameras a test out down here too, and lighting after the. Okay. What the heck? I don't know what that's about. That's right there holding. All right, let's get the motor back in this thing now. But yeah, today was kind of another test out day. Kind of wanted to make sure all the new cameras and everything looked a little better than the first one, because any of you who had to bear through that first live stream, the video quality was terrible, the lighting was terrible, so tried working on that. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Sausage Wallet. I have to ask, man, where did that name come from? Or do I dare ask? I think I might have another one of these locking caps in here. Thanks, Skywork RC. I appreciate that. Thought I had a new one. Brandy spanking new one. That actually kind of fits on there a lot tighter and doesn't want to just fall off immediately. Yeah, this is the second live stream I've done. So the first one, I was trying out I tried another camera and it was a giant fail. I hope this one looks a little better, everybody, and sounds good. I'm gonna go see if I got another one of these drive shafts. I think this is for the Typhoon. Or wait a minute. Composites center drive shafts. Looks like they got both the long and the short version in here. Thanks, Simon. Yeah, I do have another microphone still coming. It'll sound better, but slowly working on it. So it's got that. So it does. So the kit, these kits, this one here, if I can get it to focus. Anyway, it's the ARA C3955. They do have both style of the inner part of the shafts on these things for the long wheelbase or the short wheelbase. So honestly, I never really looked at the bag. I'd ordered it and never really paid a lot of attention to it. but it does have both pieces in there. So depending on if you're going to use it for a long wheelbase or a short wheelbase, they give you both pieces, which is nice. All right, that fit up nice. All right, well, we got the granite all back together. I'm going to get those new shocks in here in the next day or two. I'm going to change out all 4 shocks on this thing. And nice, take this thing back out, but we got the motor plate changed out. Got the center drive shaft changed out. Because the one I'm going to keep, of course, the old one around in case I break one, actually. But keep it around for spare parts. I'll definitely come check you out. Skyworks, I appreciate the sub. All right, take it easy, build it, break it, fix it. It was fun wrenching with you too. Curious to see what that FPV footage will look like in the car. Thanks, BVRC. Yeah, I think the video looks a lot better, and I'm not quite so blown out up here with light. Like I said, we'll continue to improve it. Have a better microphone coming, and a different light to try and light up. Mainly so I don't have to use this light as much for any of my lighting. So I'm trying to get more light, obviously, coming from this direction so I can tone this down and turn the dimmer down on this thing. Is the big thing. But I think that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I think we're just about finished up. Got the EXB. Got the new differential in the EXB that Verizon sent us, so get to try out the new limited slip in that thing. Hopefully that thing holds up a lot better than the first one did. Got the granite fixed up. Got this thing back in action. Also have a new lid coming for this thing because the body didn't last too long in the cold on this car. It bit the dust. But we got the granite fixed up. I think everything's actually happy and working at the moment. So... but I think that's going to do it, guys. Probably do another one here maybe right before Christmas. Maybe come down and poke around for a little bit, have some fun. But hopefully tomorrow I'm going to get out and try to take out some of these cars and have a little bash time somewhere, maybe down to the skate park, or might try and make a trip down to the BMX track if the snow's melted enough, because I want to head down there and have a little more fun. That place is always a great time. But I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight and checking things out as we worked on a few cars. I appreciate it a lot, guys. And appreciate everybody stopping by. If I don't see you guys again, y'all have a Merry Christmas and a good New Year's. And until next one, we'll see you guys then. Take it easy, guys. Later.